What's up, my name is Brandon Gross, and this is my 2011 Chevy G4500 ambulance that I've been working on for the last 69 days. Great number of days. I've been living in a Skoolie for the last 3 years, and I just upgraded to this. My Skoolie's in the back of the house right now. I'll go ahead and show you all the whole tour of the ambulance, and then a couple shots of the Skoolie if you guys are interested in that as well. This is just the main door to the inside. Right here we got a big slide out compartment. I haven't left in this thing, so I don't really know where I'm gonna be keeping everything for good, but so far this is where I think everything's gonna be staying. Once I get out on the road, I'm sure that'll change. But I just got some tools and straps in this one. Another small compartment here, just full of a bunch of tools, screws, bolts, and everything that I've been using on this so far. This compartment used to go the entire way to the top, but we cut it down so that way my bed could fit in there. So now it's just what you see here. And also cut this little window in here from Rec Pro. They sent me that window to have a little nice window right by the head of my bed. Back here, we got the Dirtbike mount. It latches on. That way you can just swing the entire Dirtbike all the way out and you can still get access to the back doors. But swings fully out. And there's a pin that you drop in over there, locks it outright, and that way you can open up the back doors and enjoy wherever you're at. This is just all custom welded together. If you guys want any more detailed explanations of everything I've done here, I've filmed 8 videos of the entire process from when I bought this thing to what it is now. So if you guys want to see any of that stuff, it's on my channel. The links will all be in the description to every episode that I have of converting this. Just gonna go over the final product right now. Over on this side, we got the diesel heater running through there, Renogy inverter to run all of the outlets, and more storage, kind of like the garage area of the whole thing. Right here is my main electrical compartment. So right here is where I got all of the Dakota lithium batteries. I've got 400 amp hours of lithium. Checking the temperature in here right now because I'm planning on leaving tonight for the very first time in this to be gone for hopefully a couple years. And I'm just trying to make sure that's actually pumping enough heat in here to keep these batteries warm. I have a DC to DC isolator, so it charges off the secondary alternator back here while I'm driving as well. 2 12-volt fuse blocks that run all of my appliances inside. Of course, more storage. Right here is where I keep the entire water system. So we have a 30-gallon water tank. This is where I keep all the fresh water. This is the gray water tank with a little valve so that I can drain it and dispose of it if I need to. 20-gallon propane tank that also splits off, runs my stovetop and this gigantic inline hot water heater. This portion here is supposed to be mounted on the outside of the vehicle, but the entire outside is doors on this thing, so I really didn't have another choice. At some point, I'm probably going to just cut a hole through the door so that way the exhaust can come out, but for the amount of time I use the hot water, it doesn't blow out much hot air and it's fine dissipating inside of this. There's vents inside of here as well. Right here is the tallest compartment that I got. Keep my generator in here, stand-up paddleboard, snowboard, camping equipment, and a parachute back behind there for skydiving. This is just a giant boring storage container, but let's go ahead and check out the cab of this thing. All right, now we're inside the cab, which if you didn't see it from the outside, you think it's any other normal vehicle. Threw a Sony head unit in here with like CarPlay and all that stuff because I like my sound systems whenever I'm driving across country multiple times. Gotta have that, that's a necessity. Right here, I got a little fighter pilot switch that controls all of the off-road light bars. That's mainly what that's for, so no one accidentally flips it on and blinds everybody while I'm driving. I got another switch wired in over here, which takes the power away from the house batteries for the head unit. All the music can be powered from either the starting battery whenever you're driving, or it can be switched over to the lithium batteries. So when we're partying in this thing all hours of the night, that way we're not killing my starting batteries, just flip the switch, it'll start taking it from the lithium instead. I do not have a center console because it was a gigantic ambulance center console that was made of wood and filled with control panels and sirens and whatnot. Took that out, and on my journey across the country, starting either tonight or tomorrow morning, my goal is to find a center console with like cup holders and make this look kind of nice. But other than that, it's kind of boring up here. Let's head on to the back. Okay. Right now we just got a little curtain to separate the back, an insulated curtain because there was no door here originally to pass through. It was a big cabinet that was only halfway up, so it was just a window going through there. This is my fix for right now. One of the only other parts of the entire conversions that's not fully done the way I'd like, but to get me on the road, that's what I got going. But this is the back of the ambulance. I will walk you through a couple little spots here. Up here is just the original cabinet, just used it for storage. I don't know if you can see way in the back. I remounted one of the old ambulance panels in there that controls this rear air conditioning unit because I wanted to still be able to use that. Got a 12-volt fridge, also from Rec Pro. These things are great and use like 2.5 amps whenever they're running. Underneath, I just have it open for some storage. I wanted to allow the ability to make a slide-out shower base, so that way I can pull the shower base out, curtains will go all the way up, and then I'd have an indoor shower because it's winter time right now, and that would be really nice to have. I'm cutting it close on time. I'm on a deadline. I need to get out west, so that's for later. This is the kitchen area. Got this little extra piece of the butcher block countertop that I threw on some folding hinges. That way, gives me some extra space here. Got the little microwave up top, some storage up top for food. Also, charge controllers hidden back up in here as well for the solar. Built this gigantic drawer in here for just, you know, all the kitchen type things you gotta do. Right here is a cabinet that scared me to mess with it. It is an absolute disaster. So this is all the original ambulance wiring. Most of it is disconnected as of right now. I've taken a lot of stuff out of here, but a lot of it is still active, so I can't remove all of it because these control boards also control the system that works this rear heat and air conditioning. Unfortunately, I had to leave this, but yeah, it's just an unbelievable amount of wires on wires, and I tied a lot of my own things in there as well. Found power where I needed it. Helped me out a lot. No smoking oxygen equipment, you know? All right, throw this thing back down, and this is the back half. I keep the bed smushed up against the ceiling so that way we have more space down here for a desk and whatnot. It's all on linear actuators, so flip the switch. There we go. And then the bed will come all the way down. That way I can sleep on that, but then everything here also slides out into another bed. That way when I have guests stay over, they can sleep here, I can stay up there. This was one of the main things that I've seen in other people's videos that I really wanted to accomplish, to give a lot of extra space in here. Layouts in these things are just so difficult to come up with something that utilizes all the square footage possible. Just give it a second. It's like 22 seconds for it to go the whole way up. Right here, got a little bit of the control system, the power for the inverter, so that way it activates all of my 110 outlets just with the switch. We'll kick the microwave on as well. There we go. Right here, got some touch switches, so this one will light up the kitchen. Second one lights up underneath one of the benches, and the third one gives some lights under the bed. Kind of got a little bit dark down in there because I kept everything really dark color scheme, which made it all very hard to see, and I needed a lot more lighting in here than I first expected. Let's head back here. I got a Lagoon mount. So far, I mean, I haven't gotten to use it much. I've seen they have really good reviews. It kind of can swivel all over that way. You know, people can sit on both sides there. You can use it over here as a, you know, as a desk to work on. It was really the only thing that I could figure out that would work in here that wasn't like a permanently mounted table in the center. This thing is good so far. We'll see how it lasts come a few months down the road. The entire couch right here, it all slides out, drops down into a bed. Just do one of those. Same thing on this side. Then you got yourself a second bed, so when guests stay, they got another place to sleep as I'm sleeping up here. It lifts up so you can get access to everything underneath. Down here, I cut all these slats in because I put a giant subwoofer under here, and I originally had it just inside the closet at the bottom, but it was moving too much air around and it was like blowing the wood apart on the outside. That was the only solution I could come up with, is just cut all the slats so it could properly let all the air flow out. And it took me days and days of trial and error to get that right. Got a big stand-up closet. Just standard closet with some more storage on top. More storage over here as well for clothes. I have a rooftop air conditioning unit that can be run off of the solar and the batteries, as well as the generator that I have that you've seen outside. This thing is gonna be amazing. I've never had air conditioning in my school bus. Being out in the desert in the summertime has been brutal, so this was a necessity. This is also from Rec Pro. Very glad that this can run off of the electricity. Never thought that was a possibility. Have a max air fan here as well. I use this all of the time in the Skoolie. Very crucial to have in any camper build. I could never have lived without one of these things. So we got another storage compartment over here. I just have USB outlets kind of mounted all over the place, hidden around, just to charge all of my electronics. I have a ton of cameras and flashlights for caving, and just wanted to make sure there was power everywhere you look. I have 4 more USB outlets hidden right back here, 4 more right here as well. Another light switch here that controls the main lights. I have one from the cab that controls those, as well as one over by the side door. So that way you can get to it easily from everywhere. And then also a dimmer switch, so when I wake up in the morning, I can just turn them on nice and easy, because I'm terrible at just being a person in the morning. One of my favorite parts that took me a lot of trial and error as well is I installed these LED lights up through the ceiling and just put them behind some diffusers so that way you don't see the actual LEDs individually. These are just regular LED strips that have each individually addressable actual LED, so that way you can change every single color of every single LED, and there's 300 per strip. They just go through a little microcontroller. It creates its own Wi-Fi, so that way you just go on your phone and you can pick what they do. They do hundreds of different combinations of things. That was, again, a lot of research and a lot of trial and error of blowing up LED strips. So yeah, the LEDs was something I've seen in other people's build, which is kind of what I've done for this entire thing. I just saw a bunch of things that I liked from a ton of YouTube videos. I sat there and watched them for hours and hours and hours every day, picked my favorite things of all of them, and just combined it into my own little home right here. That's kind of what I got going on for the solar. And now we're on the roof. You can see we got the 300 watts of solar. It's like the real slim, thin panels, like the flexible ones from Dakota Lithium, the same company as the batteries. The max air fan, and then the rooftop air conditioner that, like I said, runs off of the electricity or can run off the generator. I have it set so we can do either. And then I just have a ton of extra space that I've thought about in the future at some point, maybe building a deck up here. Can have some like chairs and whatnot when we're on a mountain, get some cool views. Didn't want to do that for now. I kind of just got myself as far as I could get in 69 days. I originally thought I was gonna finish this in 30 days. Found out I was terribly wrong. Pushed it back to 60 days. Still missed that deadline. Now I'm at 69 days. Gotta get myself over to Oregon because I have a special surprise that is going to be happening with the ambulance that you guys will see in a future video. If you follow along, subscribe, and then you'll be able to see that because it's gonna be worth it, I promise. I think you've seen enough of the ambulance. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. I can go more in depth with anything. And like I said, there's also 8 episodes prior on my channel that go way more in depth from the day I bought this thing. But I'll show you guys a couple of quick shots of the Skoolie. It is up for sale. All of the information will be in the description as well, so check that out. But let's switch over to Skoolie Town. This is the Skoolie. It is a 2002 GMC Savannah 3500 with 83,000 miles. This thing has been my home for the last 3 years full time. Love this thing and it is very hard for me to let it go. I had to upgrade. Been in this thing for a while. It's a bit of a mess inside because I've been tearing all of my things out of it. I'll show you what we got going on. This is the inside. Got this giant table that drops down and goes into a full-size bed here, as well as the bed up top. Just a huge garage type storage area underneath. Got the full kitchen here with the fridge, 21 gallons of water. We have 430 amp hours of lead acid batteries, max air fan. I also have a big deck built on the back to carry my dirt bike. I'll show you a quick shot of that, and then we'll wrap up this video. All right, right back here, we have the giant deck. This thing also can be removed pretty easily. It's 8 bolts that bolt right to the frame and the bumper. If you did want to buy this and you didn't want the deck, 8 bolts, it's gone. And then you can scrap it and make some money. It's really strong. I've had 2 dirt bikes on here for a very long time. Got some motion lights on the outside, backup camera, motion light on the other side. This thing has been a solid vehicle for me and I really hope it goes to someone great. It's hard for me to let it go. It'd be great if it did go to somebody who will have it out on the road and then we can meet up and I can still see my old bus and still feel like it's there with me inside, you know? Thank you guys for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, and do all those things that all the people tell you to do, and I will see you next Wednesday. Every Wednesday, new video. Peace. I don't know, it's a table. I don't know what the fuck did I say about it. The solar and... And now we're on the roof.
I almost bust a tear out right there.